Good morning, Oklahoma. Welcome to Cow-Calf Corner. Well, to summarize the past year's weather, we've had long-term drought. We had good moisture in the month of May. We've had intense heat for the past few weeks with prevailing southern winds, and we find ourselves in a flash drought. If you're a cow-calf operation and you look around in your pastures right now and it looks like your forage base is a little depleted, it leads us to this week's topic about the potential benefits of early weaning calves. Now, if we look around the United States and think about tradition and what's typical, we wean calves at a little over 7 months of age. If we're turning in information, performance data on registered herds, we know our adjusted weaning weights are adjusted to a standard 205 days of age. We've got plenty of evidence that shows us that we can wean calves as young as 2 months of age, but calves that are weaned at 2 months of age are going to require some intensive management. They are effectively a pre-ruminant at that point, primarily dependent upon mother's milk. They're capable of pretty efficiently digesting a grain-based diet that's nutrient-dense, but their rumen's not really working. They're eating a pretty limited amount of forage. Typically, calves by 3 to 4 months of age have got a functional rumen. They're eating a much larger quantity of forage. Particularly as we look at that age calves is where we gain some potential benefits from early weaning. What is our primary thing that we gain from early weaning calves? We're going to reduce that cow's energy needs by about 15 to 20%. In doing so, we're going to permit her to regain some body condition, potentially breed back quicker and sooner. The long-term benefits of that, if we early wean, that cow recapturing flesh is potentially more productive and has heavier weaning weight calves in future years. The other long-term benefit that we can think of from a range management standpoint, if we early wean, we prevent overgrazing of pastures, and our whole range system benefits from that. So what are some of the measures we need to take if we want to early wean calves? Well, we need to get calves eating a concentrate diet as soon as possible. If we can, we'd like to get a creep feeding program potentially started 2 to 3 weeks before we wean. If we can't get that done, at the very least, we want a highly palatable, nutrient-dense, dust-free, high-energy ration that's got 14 to 16% crude protein in it. We know as calves deal with the stress of being weaned, initially they're going to eat a limited amount of that, and we need it to be as nutrient-dense and palatable as possible. We want to, if possible, make sure that the calves know where water, shade, and are in familiar surroundings. If fence line weaning is a possibility, that's a good idea as well. Once those calves get through the first couple weeks of the stress of early weaning, they're going to probably bump up and eat around 3% of their body weight of some sort of a good ration. So if we see them deviate off that long term, we're potentially dealing with health issues that we need to address. Other things to keep in mind, if we can have all of our vaccination taken care of pre-weaning while that calf is still at the side of a cow, practices like dehorning and castration taken care of when we give those pre-weaning vaccinations, we're going to reduce the stress on those calves at the time that they actually undergo weaning. So as we look around, if forage is a little short, the benefits of early weaning calves potentially help us short-term and long-term. Take some of these best management practices into consideration if you're going to do it. And thanks for joining us on Cow-Calf Corner.